Level 1. The first day. The van stops. The doors open. And just like that, the outside world disappears behind 30 feet of concrete and razor wire. You step out in a paper-thin jumpsuit, orange, the color of everything you've lost. They take your clothes, your phone, your name. Now you're a number. They hand you a bedroll, a bar of soap, and a toothbrush with no bristles worth trusting. You follow a guard down a hallway that smells like bleach and old fear. The doors don't open, they buzz, then clank, then seal. You've watched enough prison documentaries to think you understood this place. You were wrong. The unit is loud, not chaotic, loud in a controlled way, like everyone is performing, like everyone is always watching. You find your cell, 6 feet by 9 feet, a metal toilet bolted to the wall, a mattress that's more spring than foam. Your cellmate is already there. He doesn't look up, doesn't speak, just stares at the ceiling like he's counting something only he can see. You sit on the edge of the bunk. The first rule of surviving this place: don't look lost, even when you are. Level 2, the first week. 7 days in, you're starting to understand the rhythm. 5:45 a.m., lights on. Count, chow, yard, count, chow, lockdown, count. Every day, same order, like clockwork built by people who never want you to forget you have no control. You learn fast that the cafeteria isn't just a place to eat, it's a map. Every table is a territory. Every seat is a statement. You don't sit where you want, you sit where you're allowed. The first time you make that mistake, someone just stares at you, doesn't say a word, just stares until you stand up and move. That's the language here. Silence with weight behind it. Your cellmate finally speaks on day 4. His name is Marcus. He's on year 9 of a 22-year sentence. He tells you 2 things. 1. Stay off the phones after 8 p.m. 2. Never owe anyone anything. You nod. You don't fully understand yet. You will. By day 7, you know which guards are fair and which ones are looking for a reason. You know which inmates are connected and which ones are pretending to be. You know that the quietest man in any room is almost always the most dangerous. You're not dangerous yet. You're still just trying to survive breakfast. Level 3, the offer. It happens on a Tuesday. You're in the yard. Cold morning, gray sky, the kind of light that makes everything look like a photograph taken somewhere hopeless. A man named Dre walks up next to you. He's not loud, doesn't have to be. He moves through this yard like the yard belongs to him, because it does. He stands beside you, looks straight ahead, doesn't make eye contact. He says, "You're from East Side." It's not a question. You say yes. He says, "I know your people." Pause. "I need someone to move something from Unit C to Unit B. Small, simple, nobody sees you, nobody knows. You get canteen credit and protection for 30 days. He walks away before you can answer. You stand there, cold air, thoughts racing. You know what moving something means. You know what protection means. You know that saying yes changes everything. You also know what saying nothing means in here. It means you're on your own. That night in your bunk, Marcus asks you what Dre said to you in the yard. You tell him. He doesn't warn you, doesn't lecture you. He just says, "Make sure it's worth it." That's the first time you realize this place has its own economy, its own currency, its own rules that exist underneath the official rules. And you're about to start spending. You say yes. The job is simple, almost insultingly simple. A folded envelope tucked inside a library book. You walk it from one unit to another during open movement. You hand it to a man named Coop without looking at him directly. That's it. 30 seconds of risk, 30 days of safety. But here's what nobody tells you. When you do it once, you become someone who can do it, and someone who can do it becomes someone who does it. By week 3, you've made 6 runs. The contraband changes. Sometimes it's phones, sometimes it's pills. Once, something you choose not to look at too closely. The protection is real. Nobody bothers you. You eat in peace. You sleep with one eye open. But something else happens, something slower, subtler. You stop being scared. That should feel like progress. It doesn't, because the fear was keeping you cautious. Without it, you start taking risks you shouldn't take. You start noticing the money behind the operation. Real money, commissary credits, outside deposits, favors that convert to cash when you get out. You start doing math in your head, and the math starts looking good. Marcus watches all of this, doesn't say anything anymore. That worries you more than if he had. Level 5, power shift. 3 months in, you're not the new guy anymore. Dre trusts you, which in here means he uses you more, and using you more means he exposes you more. But you don't see it that way, not yet. What you see is that people move for you now. Small things, someone saves you a seat, someone passes you extra food without being asked, someone who was giving you hard looks 2 months ago now gives you a nod. Respect in prison isn't given, it's negotiated, and you've been negotiating without knowing it. Dre brings you into a meeting, just 4 men in a corner of the rec room. He outlines something bigger, a phone operation, 3 burner cells being managed across 2 units, money going in and out through outside contacts. Your job is coordination. You're the middle. The pay is real this time, $100 a week hitting an account outside. Not a fortune, but in here it's everything. You call your mother that Saturday. She says you sound different. She's right. You tell her you're okay, that you're figuring it out. She doesn't ask how, because part of her doesn't want to know. You hang up and go back to work. Level 6. The eyes in the wall. You don't see it building. That's how it works. Nobody shows you the trap. You just find yourself in it one day and realize the walls moved in overnight. There's a new CO on the block, Officer Reyes. Young, transferred from a lower security facility. She watches everything, writes everything down. You notice her noticing you. You tell Dre. He says don't worry about her. You worry about her. 2 weeks later, one of your runners gets pulled out of movement, shaken down. They find nothing on him, but that's not the point. The point is someone told them where to look. Someone is talking. The yard goes quiet in a different way now, the kind of quiet that happens right before something breaks. Dre pulls you aside one evening. He looks at you long enough that you feel it in your chest. He says 3 names, asks you if you trust them. You say yes about 2 of them. You hesitate on the 3rd. He nods, like you just answered a question you didn't know you were being asked. That night, the 3rd man gets transferred to protective custody. You don't ask why. You don't want the answer. But you understand now, you're not just moving product anymore. You're involved in decisions, and decisions in here have consequences that don't stay inside the walls. Level 7. Paranoia. Everyone becomes a suspect. That's what they don't tell you about power in prison. The higher you climb, the more exposed you are. And the more exposed you are, the more enemies you collect without ever meeting them. You start watching your food, not out of habit, out of necessity. You change your route to the shower. You stop using the same phone twice. Marcus asks you one night, quietly, if it's worth it. You say yes, but you say it too fast. He turns over in his bunk. You stare at the ceiling. The same ceiling he was staring at when you first walked in. Now you understand what he was counting. Days. He was counting days. You get word through a guy named Pressure that there's a federal investigation running through the facility. Not a random shakedown, a structured, months-long operation with informants already placed inside. Your stomach drops. You run the math backward. Every face, every handoff, every conversation. How many of those moments were watched? How many of those people were already working for the other side? You don't sleep that night, or the next one. Level 8, the raid. It starts at 3 a.m. Not a sound, then every sound at once. Boots, radios, doors slamming down the hallway like dominoes. cell extraction. You hear your number called before you see the light in your face. They come in fast. 2 officers, gloves. They tell you to stand, turn around, hands behind your back. They take everything. The mattress comes off the bed, the walls get padded, the vent cover comes down. You keep your face still, empty, the way Marcus taught you without ever meaning to. They find nothing in your cell, but they're not looking for the product anymore. They're building a case. They have names, dates, records of transactions. They have phone records from the burners you thought were clean. They sit you in an interview room, just you and 2 men in plain clothes. One of them slides a photograph across the table. It's you, in the yard, talking to Dre. Then another, then Coop, then another, then another. You look at the photos, you look at them, and for the first time since you got here, you feel the walls. Not the concrete kind, the kind that closes in from the inside. They leave you alone in the room. That's intentional. They want you to sit with it, to calculate, to break. You think about Dre, about Coop, about the man in protective custody you hesitated on. You think about your mother, about the phone call, about how she said you sounded different. You think about the account outside with money in it, money you can't touch, money that now looks like evidence. They come back in. The offer is simple. Cooperate and they shave time off your sentence. Don't, and the new charges, conspiracy, facilitation, trafficking inside a federal institution, will add years. Real years. The kind that age you in the mirror faster than time should. You think about what Marcus said on your first week. Never owe anyone anything. You owe Dre. You owe the operation. And now you might owe these men in plain clothes. You are in debt from every direction. The man across from you clicks his pen. He says, "Take your time." You almost laugh. Time is the only thing you have left, and it belongs to them. 6 months later, the case closes. Some men go deeper into the system. Some disappear into federal transfers. Dre gets moved to a Supermax facility in a different state. You never see him again. The new charges don't land on you. Technicality. Your name was adjacent, not central. The lawyers your family scraped together did just enough. You serve your original sentence. You walk out on a Tuesday morning. Same gray light as that first day in the yard. You have $73 in your pocket, a garbage bag with your belongings, and a phone number to a parole officer you need to call by 5 o'clock. You stand on the sidewalk outside the gate. Car, bus stop, the smell of someone cooking breakfast in a building nearby. You breathe. And then your phone rings. Unknown number. You stare at it. You know what it might be. You know what answering could mean. You know every version of this story goes. You've lived it. You've paid for it. You've survived it. The phone keeps ringing. And the worst part, the part nobody talks about, is that you hesitate. Because the outside world feels just as foreign as the inside did on day one. Because the only system you fully understand now is the one you just left. Because survival taught you skills that only work in the dark. The phone stops ringing. You exhale. You start walking. But somewhere in the back of your mind, you're already calculating again. And that, right there, is the real maximum security. The one they build inside you.